Hello Flosstube, this is the channel Stitching with Sandy. I'm Sandy and this is Flosstube number 13. This is a channel about cross stitch where I share the joy of cross stitch with you and sometimes a few other crafts, but mostly cross stitch. So if you're not here to see cross stitch, I'm sorry that you're not here. Have a wonderful day. And for those of you who are here, welcome. And for those of you who've been sticking with me, thank you so much. I truly do appreciate it. I have lots of FFOs to share with you, March Madness to share with you. I did a lot of work during March Madness, although I feel like it stumped me from finishing a lot of things, but we'll get to those and I'll share them with you. So first up, since the last time I saw you, we celebrated St. Patrick's Day, one of my favorite holidays because of the color green. During St. Patrick's Day, we had corned beef and cabbage for dinner. At school, my students had fun. We did a rainbow stem where they got to take some Play-Doh with a chenille stick, and after doing some addition and subtraction problems, they got to earn Fruit Loops. And so they got 3 of each color to make a rainbow, and then they strung it on a chenille stick and then attached it to the 2 pieces of Play-Doh that looks like clouds, and they made a rainbow. So they had fun. My daughters, they missed being in kindergarten. They're in 6th grade. And so they asked if they could decorate the bathroom the way it was decorated when they were in kindergarten. Of course, I didn't know what they were talking about because I don't really care for leprechauns, so I generally don't talk about leprechauns too much. And I definitely don't decorate with leprechauns. They kind of creep me out. So they said that when they were in kindergarten that there was green handprints all over the wall in the bathrooms, like smeared all over, and that there was green in the toilet water. And so I made them promise that yes, they could decorate it as long as they came back and cleaned it after school. And of course, it took all morning. Usually my students go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. There's always someone in the bathroom, but for whatever reason, maybe it was the fun centers that we did, I'm not sure. It wasn't until midday when I had both the AM class and the PM class come when finally someone asked to use the restroom. So she went in there and you could see her pause as she opened the door and turned the light on. And I hear her go, Mrs. Alba, I think you need to come here. And so I go over there and I screamed, oh my gosh, really loud on purpose. And then of course I told, I can't believe this mess. And my whole class came over. I said, you guys have to see this. So they came in. Oh, that was like the showstopper. So thank you, Marissa Cassandra, for doing that for me. It was probably their best moment. And I'll have to make sure that we do it again next year. So that was a lot of fun. The next thing was we were getting ready for progress report. So I was grading, testing, grading. That's a lot of work. I'm glad that it finished. And now I'm on spring break. And so the best part about spring break is we get to slow down, no rushing around, get up when we want to get up, get dressed when we want to get up. So I've been getting a lot of stitching time in between visiting friends and families. We've had a few luncheons, a few dinners, a couple of times we've had people over, but we're just enjoying our time together as a family and then enjoying our friends too. So I love spring break. I still have several more days before next week that I have to go back to get some more stitching done. So let me share some of my stitching finishes with you. So first off, I finished my Country Cottage Needleworks March sampler of the month. And I just framed it this morning. So let me share that with you. And here it is. Sorry about the glare, but you can see I finished it. It has leprechauns on it, and my kids were like, are you going to take that off, Mom? And I said, no, they're small enough not to be too scary. So I did finish those. I did find this frame at Hobby Lobby, and my plan is to swap out and put April in here. April I should be done with in a couple of days, and I'll put it in here, and then that way I can swap them out each month. So that's the plan for this one. So again, that's Country Cottage Needleworks March sampler of the month. And so that was my first finish. Some finishes were part of March Madness, and I'll tell you when I get to that point. But then I finished Jelly Bean Garden by Brenda Gervais. And here she is. I finished her last year in the spring section at Michael's. I found this little fence, and it said like welcome home on it, or welcome spring maybe. So I popped that off, and then I just put this on there and finished it with some little pom-poms to match. And I just love how pretty she came out. So that's one of my first Easter pieces finished. And then I did, if you remember, I had a giveaway. I had purchased it twice. It was the Wee Ones by Heart and Hand, and it was St. Patrick's bird. Well, I went to Hobby Lobby. I was looking for a birdhouse, and unfortunately, I found one. That's the wonderful news, but unfortunately, the piece is a little bigger than I intended it to be, and so the little hole for the birdhouse is gone, but I still like it. It came out cute. So here it is, and I put it on a magnet so that I can switch this out. So the spring one will be going on here. So next time I have a Flosstube, you'll see the spring one attached. And I just did a little tiny checks, black and white gingham check in the background, and that will stay the same. So little birdhouse, little house now for that one. I love that one. Okay, let's see, let's make some room here. Then I finished one of my bucket lists for this month. My bucket list was to do a 3D project. So I did the Samplings #1 by Brenda Gervais. And that's this little egg, and it came with this linen that's pre-printed with some alphabet samplers to make the eggs. And then I just took a little grapevine wreath, and I found this little green garland, which I thought was cute. It looks like ivy, and I wrapped it around there. I just have it on a little stand, and I put some little eggs in there, and I thought this would make a really nice spring setup. And so let me show you my stitching up close. So here is the egg. I just think that's so cute. Forgive my sewing, I'm still trying to learn curved objects, but that is one piece that I'm very excited to put out for display. I'll be decorating in 2 days for spring and Easter. So that was another bucket list done and finished. Then my last fully finished object was I swapped out, excuse me, the bow fell. Hold on. I swapped out my winter ABCs by Little House Needleworks to my spring ABCs that I finished on my finishing. So that, as you can see, this just fell off, but I just magnetized it on there so that I could change the bow out. And I use these colors because they're in the spring ABC. So you can see there's lots of blues and purples and browns in it. And I had this shutter for the winter one with the intention that I would swap them out. And then at the bottom, I put another little wreath. So the last one, it was like a silvery white sparkly wreath for winter. So now I've switched it to a spring wreath. And I'm really happy to have this done. So that means that I can work on summer, and I have several months to get that done, so I'm not worried. But I'm glad that I could switch that out so we can hang it up on our wall. All right. So those are my fully finished objects. I also have one more, but I can't share it until the next video because it's a swap exchange. And that one, I finished stitching it. I just have to fully finish it. So, and then it's gonna go in the mail this week. It'll be making its way to my partner, and which all the swaps are supposed to go in the mail on April 1st. So I will send mine out then, and that way it will make it to my partner in time and hopefully I can show it to you next time. All right, so with that secret stitch, I want to talk about, now that I've finished with the secret stitch, I want to talk about my giveaways from last time. So I had 2 giveaways. I had this Satsuma Street kit called Miss Fortune, and it's a kit. Comes with everything you need for it. And the winner of this one was Whitney Labs. So Whitney, send me your email, or not your email, I'm sorry, send me your address and I will put it in the mail for you. I believe I have your address already from our swap group, but send it to me again just in case. I know somebody sent me an address in the swaps that went to their workplace. So if you do I just want to make sure I go to the right place. So please email me your address again. Let me know that you saw my video and that you're ready to claim your prize, and I will put it in the mail for you. And then my other winner was going for the Pine Mountain Designs June topography. And this piece is going to Jennifer Fisher. And I know Jennifer said in her comment that it was the first time she'd found me. So Jennifer, you're a lucky girl. I hope you enjoy it. Please find my email address in the description box below. Email me your address and I will get this pattern out to you. Congratulations to both my winners. All right, so swap updates. So I sent a swap. I had a swap with Michelle Schumacher. Sorry, Michelle, I know I'm saying your name wrong. But we had a swap where I drew a name of people who just wanted to swap with me. And Michelle was the one I drew last month. And I sent her Bunny Trio. It looks like this. That piece was Bunny Trio by Lindy Stitches. I stitched it on 14 count. Picture this plus in the color opal. So that's what I sent her. You might have seen it at the beginning, but I hope you saw the little picture just now. She sent me this cute little piece. I have to tell you, here's her card that she sent me, and it's so sweet. She sent the project to me, and her daughter was so excited about the fact that she was mailing something, across the country. And so her daughter wanted to make me a picture, which of course, being a kindergarten teacher, I absolutely love it. So, it doesn't say her name, but she's 7 years old, it's her youngest. And this is her picture, her spring picture that she made for me. It says Happy Spring. I just think that's so cute. And I just adore children's artwork. It's one of my favorite things about teaching kindergarten. So thank you for my art picture. And then her piece that she stitched for me is by Cherry Hill Stitchery. And it's an Easter mini called The Sheep. And here is the piece that she sent me and swapped. Super cute. I love this plaid pattern on the back. It says Easter for sure. And then she has some really pretty rickrack on the side. I just think this is so sweet. So thank you, Michelle. I really, really, really love it. And it was fun swapping with you. And then my next swap partner is Nancy Hauber. I've already reached out to her, and we are working on our swaps, and we're going to be getting them out next month. So be finishing up my secret stitch, FFOing it, and send it out to my swap partner, and then I'll be on to Nancy. So swaps are going well. We did have 4 people that have already received their swaps from their partners, and so I'm going to insert those 4 pictures of their adorable spring projects right here. I hope you enjoyed those. They're lovely, and I think swapping's so great. And thank you, ladies, for submitting your picture to me, because it's nice to share and see what other people are stitching. So thank you so much for that. Right. So that moves on to Whips and March Madness. And I say Whips and March Madness because most of my projects that I worked on, March Madness, are now Whips. And I worked on all of them throughout the month, except for the first 2 categories that I shared with you in my last video. All right, so let's go through them and go through them nice and slowly. So bear with me, there's a lot because I did finish up. So here was my sheet, and it's all filled out. I even have a winner. So last time I shared with you, I had spring and St. Patrick's Day categories for round 1, and when they had finished, the winner from round 1 was, let me pull it over here because I fully finished it, was the Jelly Bean Garden. Now, she wasn't fully finished at that time, but she was the winner. So then she was going on to round 2. So for round 1, my other 2 categories that I didn't talk about last time because I wasn't finished with them was my crow category and my sunflower category. So I'll show you those. So one of them in the crow category was by Carrot House Samplings, the Willow Tree Sampler. And in round 1, this is how far I got. I did not continue working on this one afterwards because I was trying to get the St. Patrick's Day and the spring ones done, but this is how far I got. So you can see I only did a little bit of the border in an hour's time. And so that was one of them. And it competed against, let me put this away so I can get the next one out. All right. So it competed against Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. And my finish, I guess I didn't get that far on this one either. Again, just a little bit of the border. And that's up here in the corner. And that's natural linen. I believe it's 32 count, no, 28 count natural linen. Then it went on to challenge this one. So this is from the book Blackbird Designs Winds of Autumn. And the piece that I was doing is, let me find it. There we go. First Winds of Autumn, which is this giant strawberry. And this one is the winner of that category. So you're going to see a lot more stitching on it because I did go to round 3 and then to the end. So I'll show you, but this is the one that had one out. When it had one out, I'll show you what I did. So here is where I'm at on it. In round 1, I had completed this bottom piece right here and the urn, but not the flower. So then at the end of that one, it went on to the next round because this was the winner out of the crow category. So that was round 1 for the crows. And then my sunflower category in round 1, there was Little House Needlework. So sorry. Little Miss Sunshine. That's this one. And this one I'm stitching on 28 count Monaco Coffee Tea Dyed by me. And in round 1, I completed just the sunflower and the top 2 petals or leaves. And that was in round 1, my sunflower category. And then from Punch Needle and Primitive Magazine, I stitched Summer by Stitching with the Housewives. Let me show you the picture. I don't want to show you the pattern. Sorry, I should have put a bookmark in here. Be a lot faster. There we go, I found it. All right, so this is the summer one by Stitching with the Housewives. And this one, it's funny because you start these projects and you figure since you have you're only doing 1 hour, you don't need all the colors, but the main color, which is the white, I had to order because I didn't have it, and I had every color but. So I have it now because I ordered it stacked. All right, and I'm stitching this on 14 count black Aida, and I was working on the bee scap, and that's what I got done in the hour on that one. So we'll keep going. That was my other sunflower piece. Set that aside. And then my third sunflower one was this piece. Is called Advice from a Sunflower by Annie B's Folk Art. I love this piece so much. It's so cute. And for that one, I'm stitching also on 14 count black Aida. And move all these strings. And I'm just doing the DMC. I'm not doing any over dyes on this one, just straight DMC. I have a lot of DMC, so try to loop. And I'm starting from the bottom, so nothing. And then at the very bottom, I've got one letter H. So not very much, but I will get there eventually. These are the starts for summer. So of these ones, that one was Little Miss Sunflower. So then, let me set this aside so I can get the next ones. All right, so then I went on, so for round 3 was Jelly Bean Garden no, I'm sorry. First Winds of Summer, the Crow, and then Little Miss Sunshine went against each other. First Winds of Autumn won. And then Jelly Bean Garden and Gathering Clover competed on the last one. And Jelly Bean Garden won. So let me show you where we're at. So we were at Jelly Bean Garden, which is my one that I fully finished. When I finished on round 3 against the Crow one, I had all of the jelly beans on this side finished in the flowers, and then a couple of the jelly beans here and the bunny. And then that was it when I finished round 3. And then the piece that you just saw, and I'll remind you, the First Winds of Autumn, I went ahead and finished the little tree in the urn, and then I did the entire house. So at the end of those hours, this is the one that won. And since it's an autumn piece, I've decided that since it's the winter and March is over, that I'm going to make this one be my morning stitch. I stitch 1 hour every morning before I go to work. So I figured I'll make this be my morning stitch and keep going because it's the winter and I would like a finish on it. So the good news is, out of March Madness, I've fully finished this one because I went on to finish it. I fully finished this one from it. And then I have Gathering Clovers. And I moved that one to Whips because Gathering Clovers, since it didn't win, I wanted to go ahead and work on it, see how much I can get done before March is over. I didn't quite get it all finished. This is the one is by Luminous Fiber Arts. I'll show you it. And I stitched it on 28 count Monaco coffee tea dye. This is the pattern by Luminous Fiber Art. I love it. It's so beautiful. And I'm not far from being finished, but I think I'm going to go ahead and bag it up and put it in my stash for next St. Patrick's Day. And this is how far I got. So I still need there's like 2 rows left of the watering can, and then the border all the way around, and then I need the other bird and the little shamrock that he's holding. And then this one will be finished. So I don't have that far to go. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it away. And I've decided I'm okay with that. It's funny because those who know me really closely know sometimes I have a hard time. I have ADHD and it's hard for me or not ADHD, OCD, sorry. I don't have ADHD, OCD. And it's really hard for me to walk away from something that's not done. I feel like I have to finish it. But I'm learning that it's okay and that I'll have it for next year. And so I'll pull it out next year after Valentine's Day. I'll finish it up and I'll have it for St. Patrick's Day in time. So I'm okay with it. The other thing that I worked on in my whips that was from the first round in my last video is I decided to continue working on Bloom Where You're Planted because spring is now here and I want to have it finished. So this is my other spring piece. And during the competition, I had only gotten her face done. And so it was just her face and the little flower wreath around her. So I finished all of the mother skunk. She's done. And this is a clouds piece by Fabric Flare. Sorry, it's the painted one where it's white on the other side, but painted on this side. And I love it so much. So I just have her babies to do. I plan on making this a whip to finish between now and our next video so that I'll have some more spring pieces done. All right. So let me just set this stuff aside so we can go on to the next part. I have so many things on my tray. Yep. All right. So in my March, oh, and I have one more whip I want to show you, but I wanted to show you my March. So you can see my March has been a very busy month. I'm excited. It's almost done and we can get started with April. And my other whip that I did work on as well as all those other pieces is my temperature tree. This is by Stitch and Mommy temperature tree. And we had California weather. It's been crazy this year. This does not normally happen. So here's my tree and each full branch is a month. So there's January, February, and March. But what's interesting about March is you can see like it was warm, cold, 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 super cold. Then it warmed up again, got cold again, got hot, cooled down, got hot, cooled down, got hot, and then went back down to purple and then blue. So, because the last couple of days it got really cold and rained. So it's interesting that the weather's been going like that. Usually by the time we hit spring, it gets hot and just keeps getting hotter and hotter. So I'm not complaining because I really love the cooler weather. I love the rain. And so I enjoy those days. It's just really hard on your allergies. That's something that happened to me during, since our last video. My allergies were getting so bad and the air was drying out my nose that it was cracking. And so I ended up getting a sinus infection. And I have to tell you, I taught in my class up until halfway through and I had so much pain here. My entire sinuses and my eye was swelling and I was like, I need to go to urgent care. I can't wait any longer. So we got a sub in the classroom. I left the classroom. And when I got to urgent care, they told me it was going to be 4.5 hours. And it was. That is a long time. There were so many people there that the waiting room inside was all full. And so we had to sit outside. And the outside was completely filled too. So that was crazy. However, I'm feeling great because she said I sure enough did have a sinus infection. And she said it was probably the combination of my cracking nose from the dry weather to the allergies that I was having because the weather kept shifting back and forth. So she put me on an antibiotic for about 5 days and then I had the nasal drip, you know, the part where you're starting coughing. And she said, don't be surprised if you start coughing. It's normal. It will pass. And it has. I feel really great. And I'm so glad I'm over it and back to normal. So watch out for those sinuses. All right. So those are all my whips, which then, looking at my notes, brings me to haul. So let's go through my haul. So for haul, I know everybody's had a market release purchases. I try not to go too crazy and spread out my purchases. So I only bought a couple of March. What am I trying to say? market. Only bought a couple market releases, and I'm going to share those. I had to have a Heart Remembers because of this piece. I know I had seen somebody stitching like a couple of these before, and I had looked and I couldn't find the pattern, and it was out of print. And so I thought, well, maybe one day someone will trade them. And then this comes out and it's on the front cover even. So I'm really excited. I want to stitch all of them. I'll probably stitch some on one piece of fabric, not several different sewed together like they have this, although I think that's a very neat finish, an unusual finish. But I just love everything in this book. This one is another one of my favorites from this book that I feel like I need to stitch. And that's this one I want to show you. I just love this. I think it's so cute, and I love how all the birds are on the top of the flowers. We have crows that come visit us every morning, and they come, they sit on my trees, and then they sit on my fence, and they say good morning to me every day. Just love it. Then from Hands on Design, I got season 2. I love this. I do intend to stitch every single one of them. Simply beautiful. I love that I stitched the May one from season 1, a year of celebrations. I stitched May, and I'll show you that when we get to May. It'll be one of my previous finishes. I stitched it last year and it had lots of flowers. And I'm not huge into flowers, but this year, the season 2 is little bumblebee hives. And they're the actual hives that you would host the bees in, and then they would create the honey for you. So I love that. I think that's so cute. It'll be fun to put that with the other one. I also purchased Hands on Design Red, She Said. I really want to do all her banners. I think they would be so cute across my mantle there. So I'm going to try this one. I don't know. I might wait until the summer and do it then. I think I'm going to change the colors too. I'll leave the red, but I think I'll change out the blues and put more green in it because those are my favorite colors. And then I bought, the last one that I got was Daisy May by Stitching with the Housewives. I want to do her for this season for spring. So I will stitch her right away. The other things, I loved almost so many things that everybody's been sharing, but I know I can't stitch them all now. So instead of worrying about getting them right away, I have them on my wish list. So I 1, 2, 3 stitch, and when I'm ready, I'll order them. So those are my haul for this time. So my plans for next time is, I didn't work on Whipco yet for March. However, I'm working on the adventure weights. I have both squares that were called are adventure weights. So 2 different pieces of it. So I think if I spend today stitching on one part and tomorrow stitching on the other, I should have both of those categories done before March ends. And then I'll be ready to move on to April's Whipcos. Also, just cross stitch ornament of the month. I need to do the March one, and it's a very simple one. So I think I'll get that one done pretty quick. So I have those to do, and then just finish my Easter stitching, work on my secret stitch for Nancy Hauber. All right, on to my new giveaways. So for my new giveaways, before I share that, I want to say thank you to all of you who answered the question last time, and the question was to please share a place that you visited that was a fond memory when you were a child. I want to say thank you to all of those who did respond, because your memories sparked new memories of mine, and I just enjoyed reading them. I even learned about a food you eat from a palm tree. That was very interesting. I think she called it swamp cabbage. That was amazing. I never knew of anything about it, and it was fun to learn about. So thank you for sharing your memories. I loved it. It sounds like a lot of us have some really great places that we visited when we were a child, and hopefully our children get to visit those places too. So please, for the new giveaways, don't say giveaway, don't say freebie. I would like you to answer my new question, and I would like you to be a subscriber and like my video. And the new question is, what was your most embarrassing moment in your life? You can choose any time in your life. Mine was about, I think it's been about 6 or 7 years. I was doing back to school night, and one thing that's really hard for me is speaking in front of large crowds of adults. I can do it in front of children and I'm fine, but the minute I get in front of their parents and they're all staring at me, I get hot and sweaty, I get tongue-tied, and I don't do very well. It's really hard to remember what I need to say, especially when I'm trying to be very professional and not forget anything that's important for the parents to get us through the school year with their children. So I was at back to school night in the middle of my presentation, sharing about, what our school year was going to look like, what curriculum we would be using, parent volunteers, disciplinary information, behavior management, all of those things. And my vice principal came in, and that's not unusual. They usually will roam through the different classrooms just to check in to see how we're doing, and in case any parents have any questions, that can be directed to him. So he was a brand new vice principal, came from another school. I hadn't been observed by him yet or anything, and he came in and he was standing there, and I was going through my presentation, and I was almost finished with the first presentation because we have 2, and I said, oh, and by the way, please don't forget to sign that. And then, of course, I say the SH word instead of sheet. It came out the other word. And then I was like, oh, no, I meant sheet. I swear I don't swear in front of your children. I promise I don't. I was so embarrassed. And he's laughing, so I don't know if he's laughing to help me feel better, and we'll talk about it later, or if he really did find it funny. And I was humiliated, so I'm sure I was purple. Good news is the next day I went to visit him to make sure everything was okay, and he said, you did fabulous. It happens to all of us. At least it wasn't the big one. So it went okay, but I was so embarrassed. Luckily, all the parents did laugh about it, and they weren't mad. So I don't know. There's embarrassing moments throughout our life, but that's the one I remember the most right now. So please share one of yours that you're not afraid to share. Sometimes they're so embarrassing you don't want to, but I hope you have one to share. Like my video, subscribe. If you click the subscribe button, there's a little bell. If you click the top one, that will give you a notification anytime I post a video. So if you like my video, I hope you will subscribe. And so my new giveaways this time is, since I finished them, now this will not have the fabric to make the extra eggs. I apologize, but I did use them. But this is samplings number 1 by Brenda Gervais. So you will have the pattern to stitch this egg right here. And it also gives the directions on how to do all the finishing. And that was very helpful. And then Little House Needleworks Spring ABCs. So for this one, I would like you to say the keyword is egg if you would like to win this one. And if you would like to win the spring ABCs, the keyword is spring. Okay, so those are my new giveaways. Good luck. I hope that you're a winner. And until we meet again next week, I'll try to be on time this time. I want you to be confident, be courageous, be creative, and please be kind. And I hope you guys have a wonderful next couple of weeks, and I'll see you in about 2 weeks. Bye.